Some may have these moral diseases without realizing it. The author mentions the example of Isbā. And Isbā, of course, is wearing the clothes below the ankle for men. Isbā is not the main topic, otherwise we would mention all the relevant opinions and proofs and rebuttals. But in summary, some ulama believe that if one doesn't do Isbā out of khuyala, if it's not out of vanity or arrogance, then that's okay. That's not the correct opinion. Other ulama believe that Isbā is haram, whether it's for khuyala or not. Not being for khuyala may be a lesser haram, but nonetheless it's haram. Because of the hadith that's in Sahih Bukhari, مَا أَسْفَلَ مِنَ الْكَعْبَيْن مِنَ الْإِزَارِ فَفِي النَّارِ. Whatever hangs below the ankles is in the fire. Some ulama said that hadith is for one who wears it for other than khuyala. For Isbā, other than khuyala. And for khuyala, it's even a worse punishment. For the hadith with promising a more severe punishment. That's in Sahih Muslim. ثلاثة لا يكلمهم الله يوم القيامة ولا ينظر إليهم ولا يزكيهم ولهم عذاب أليم. There's three types of people. Allah will not speak to them on the day of resurrection, nor will He look at them, nor will He absolve them, and for them is a severe, painful punishment. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam repeated that 3 times to draw the attention to this severe matter. Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu said, "Khabu wa khasiru man hum ya Rasulullah." May they fail and lose. Who are they? He said, Al-Musbil, Al-Musbil, Wal-Mannan, Wal-Munfiqu Sil'atahu Bil-Halif Al-Kadhib. First one of them is who? Al-Musbil, the dragger of his lower garment. There's other narrations similar to this hadith that I mentioned, promising that severe punishment and specifying that it's for those who do it out of arrogance. So some ulama said there's 2 categories of hadith pertaining to Isbā. One promising a less severe punishment, and it's for those who do it without khuyala. The other group of ahadith promising the more severe punishment, and it's for those who wear it for khuyala. Al-Dhahabi rahimahullah said, you tell someone don't do Isbā and you see his arrogance in defending his foolish self. That's from Al-Dhahabi, not from me. He said he defends his foolish self by saying, I'm not doing it out of arrogance, using hadith out of context. Basically what he means, he's explaining that there's 2 categories of hadith. One with a severe punishment for khuyala, who does it for khuyala, and one with a less severe punishment that he does it for apart from khuyala. Note how he considers arguing these matters foolish and arrogant. And he said, Al-Dhahabi said, some may even use the hadith of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu to justify their Isbā. And he's talking about the hadith that's in Sahih Bukhari, من جر ثوبه خيلاء لم ينظر الله إليه يوم القيامة. Allah will not look at one who lowers his garment out of vanity. Abu Bakr said, إن أحد شقي إزاري يسترخي إلا أن أتعاهد ذلك منه. In one narration he said, my izar slips and falls low. In another narration he said, one of the sides of my izar slides down if I don't take care of it, meaning wrap it up, pull it up and wrap it. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam told him, لَسْتَ مِمَّنْ يَصْنَعُهُ خُيَلَاء. You're not one of those who do it out of vanity or conceit. Abu Bakr was initially wearing his izar above the ankles, then it slides down. He kept raising and wrapping it. He was worried about a side of his izar slipping, while he constantly pulls it up and ties it. That's not khuyala, that's not conceit, that's not vanity. He kept raising his garment. If someone's izar keeps slipping, he's thin, he has a baggy izar, that's all he had that day, and he keeps pulling it up, or he lost weight suddenly, that doesn't fall under the category of conceit. Someone's clothes slipped and you remind him, raise your pants above the ankle. Someone with exceptional random circumstances. Someone like those in prison, because that's a rule in prison. Alhamdulillah, when we were in prison, there was ways around it where we didn't do Isbā, but some are forced. That doesn't fall under conceit or khuyala. So the first opinion here is the wrong one, which we mentioned that Isbā is okay if it's not out of khuyala. The second opinion is that Isbā for arrogance or not arrogance is haram, one being more severe than the other. Shaykh Nasr's opinion is very unique, and that's why he mentioned it here. He believes there's no Isbā without khuyala. There's no Isbā without arrogance in it. Why? How? His rationale in that is that that person consistently refuses to stop Isbā, knowing the punishment. That's khuyala. It doesn't necessarily imply, if one has the moral disease of khuyala, that he will feel it or know it. They could be in denial. They may not know that they have it at all. Or it could be covered by other factors. Also, khuyala is not at one level. It's at different levels. Like the other moral heart diseases, there are various degrees and levels. Someone walking with his chest propped up in full-blown khuyala is not at the level of one who has an Adam's way of that disease. There's stage 1 cancer and there's stage 4 cancer. The author's opinion that every Isbā is khuyala, is vanity, it has actually precedent from that. And from what I can remember, without researching it recently, is that Ibn al-Arabi said someone who claims that he wears his izar below the ankle, but it's not out of khuyala, then italatuhu dhayluhu dalatun ala takabbure. His garment below the ankle is indicative and proof of his khuyala. Even the statement of al-Dhahabi that I mentioned earlier is very similar. He believes there's khuyala and not khuyala, both are haram, as we mentioned. But if someone argues about it, he said, then that's arrogance. And Shaykh Nasr, he said, one who constantly does it, knowing the punishment, then it's khuyala. That's very similar, even though Dhahabi believes there's two categories. The author also stated that he wrote a book responding to Al-Shawkani rahimahullah on this matter. I alluded to that in a previous halaqah, and many brothers and sisters began to inquire about it. We don't have it. I haven't read it because it wasn't released. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala release the author, his ilm and his books. But I can give a one-line summary on what it's about, knowing the opinion of Shawkani and knowing the opinion, rahimahullah, and knowing the opinion of Shaykh Nasr, may Allah hasten his release. Shawkani Nail al-Awtar believes there's no problem in Isbā if one is not doing it out of vanity, khuyala, which is among the first opinion that I mentioned earlier. The one I said was not the correct opinion. Shaykh Nasr is saying what Ibn al-Arabi mentioned and other scholars. The fact one is willing to do Isbā knowing it's deterred from means that person has khuyala. It may not be at the high end level, it may be at the low level, but he has it.